Hi, and welcome to Castanet's Week in Review. I'm Nich Johansen with your top stories from this week. A teenager succumbed to his injuries last Sunday night after he was stabbed in downtown Kelowna on the evening of June 27th. 16-year-old Eli Beauregard was stabbed in the parking lot behind the BMO Bank on Bernard Avenue just before midnight. Sunday night, Eli's father told Castanet his son had died.
Phone call from his mom telling me that he was in critical condition in the hospital and that they were going to have to amputate his arm. When I got to the hospital, I realized it was a lot worse at that point than it was when she called me.
Police say a suspect was taken into custody on June 28th, but was then released without charge as the investigation continues. The first legal cannabis retail store in the Okanagan opened up in Vernon on Monday. Spiritleaf opened its doors on Canada Day after it was recently issued the Okanagan's first provincial license for cannabis sales.
We are going to focus on some education. There'll be pamphlets around the store from a variety of different licensed producers, as well as the different strains, different terpenes, different THC levels, CBD levels, that kind of thing.
After legalization last October, a government-owned cannabis store opened in Kamloops, and the closest private store that's been licensed since then was in Salmon Arm. Starbuds in Lake Country and Green Gaia Cannabis in Summerland have been waiting for a provincial license since last December. A South Okanagan National Park is one step closer to becoming a reality after a memorandum of understanding was signed by the feds, the province, the Osoyoos Indian Band, and the Lower Similkameen Indian Band on Tuesday. The agreement lays out the park's potential boundaries and lays the roadmap for negotiations on the somewhat controversial park moving forward.
It's home to 11% of Canada's species at risk. 11%. Realistically, by 2 years, that we believe that we can move forward on a national park reserve.
Tuesday night, a car hydroplaned off Highway 97 just south of Peachland and flipped into Okanagan Lake.
So there was like a huge amount of water right on the road. He ended up flipped. The roof of the car is on the rocks, still fairly shallow, so he could have really hurt himself.
Luckily, the driver, a man who appeared to be in his 60s, managed to get out of the car. And 3 people between the ages of 19 and 23 were rescued from the Postal Lake area Canada Day after they were forced to spend their Sunday night in a swamp. The group got their car stuck off Postal Lake Road Sunday, and after their dog ran away from them, they got lost in the woods as they searched for it. Without cell service, the group settled in for the night once it became dark. Thankfully, they found service in the morning, and Central Okanagan search and rescue volunteers, with the help of an RCMP helicopter, found them by 12:30 p.m. on Monday.
He did drink some of the water out of the swamp, so we'll see how that affects him over the next day or so. Besides the bug bites and probably the upcoming tummy ache, they're fine. A little tired, a little worse to wear, and probably hopefully a little bit smarter.
That's it for this week's Week in Review. For Castanet News, I'm Nich Johansen.